Hey guys, Mr. Parker here again. Today we're going to move into the exciting world of chromosome/DNA and cell division. Remember, there are guided notes for this, so please have that copy up in front of you. It should be a piece of paper that you would have picked up and be writing on with a pencil or pen of your choice. So let's get moving on here. Remember, though, you can also go back, pause, rewind, stop, replay, whatever you need to do as many times as possible to get through with this and get all of the information you need. I'm going to move fairly quickly. So we're going to start out with the question of why do cells duplicate and divide? Well, they do it for three main reasons. One, to reproduce and make more cells. Two, because each cell can only get to be so large, so they have a size limitation to them. And three, to repair or replace old and damaged cells. A couple little side notes to think about here. Could you imagine if we never grew and you're the same size you were when you were born? Wow, that's a lot of small people, isn't it? How about what life would be like if our cells never replaced? So we had to go through life with all of our injuries and live that way forever. Ooh, I've been through some painful things. I really am glad that I was able to heal from them. So I'm sure you've been the same way. So it's a good thing we do have cells that duplicate and divide. How do they divide? Well, this is all jumbled up, but it's a really cool video about why cells divide. Now, I'll tell you though, the host of it might be just as well suited to be hosting a monster movie mash at the end of a long day, like on a Friday or Saturday night, late, just a big movie marathon. He kind of has that creepy look to him, but he's got some great information. So take a good look at it. One type of cell division, and there are two of them that we're going to talk about. We're just going to talk about the one right now, though. It is called asexual reproduction. And that is when a cell divides and it creates exact copies. They call that mitosis. So, mitosis is one type and is asexual reproduction. That is one of the answers on your question sheet there on your notes. So, you want to make sure you get that filled in. Stepping back just a little bit, we're going to talk about some DNA. Remember, that was the first part of our title here. DNA, by definition, is the genetic material of all organisms that holds the code or blueprint for each individual organism. Whew, a lot of big words. Basically, it is telling every part about you as why you are the way you are, and it does that for everything else. Your dogs, your cats, everything has DNA in it, and as far as in our animal kingdom, etc., that does tell it exactly what it's supposed to look like. It contains information for an organism's growth and function. DNA is short for deoxyribonucleic acid. Big tongue twister word. I'm not going to ask you to pronounce it. So if you want to try it, go for it, but you don't have to. And where is it donated or donated? Where is it located? Well, it's in the cell's nucleus. I remember in the different organelles we had, the nucleus in the middle there. Yeah, that's where we find this DNA. Some people say, well, what's the difference between DNA and chromosomes? Well, DNA is the smallest part that when it's mixed with proteins, it forms a chromosome. A chromosome is therefore nothing but a chain of DNA. And as humans, we have 23 pairs of them, so 46 chromosomes in total. And they are all located inside the nucleus of every cell in our body. So you might ask yourself, why do you look like your parents? Here's a video that'll answer that question for you. I'm not going into that right this minute. What are the stages of mitosis? Well, there are what we consider five stages. Sometimes you'll hear six, and I'll explain that in a little bit because that last was really the final thing. It has a special name of when the cells actually divide. But this first one here is called interphase, and that's when the DNA and the cell organelles are all duplicated. So inside one cell, you'll have two of everything for a short period of time. The next phase then is your prophase. And during this time, each chromosome is duplicated and now consists of two sister chromatids. And at the end of prophase, the nuclear envelope breaks down into vesicles. Metaphase. This is our third stage. This is where the chromosomes align at the equatorial plate. Sometimes you'll see it drawn this way. They're aligned across here. Sometimes they'll be aligned across vertically instead. It's the same thing. If you see them lined up like this and you see these spindle fibers on either side starting to form, yeah, that's your metaphase. Anaphase, here's where your daughter chromosomes are starting to divide. So they're separating, moving toward their poles, whether it's top and bottom or side to side. They will split apart in the middle. So you see half the chromosomes, the chromatids here, and the other half down below. The fifth phase in what we're looking at here is what we call telophase. Here's where you can see it's starting to form two completely different cells. So the chromosomes have moved to the poles, the DNA unwinds, and the nuclear envelope reappears. And here's that last one I was talking about, cytokinesis. This is what some people refer to as the sixth phase, but not everybody does. This is where the cell actually splits and becomes two different daughter cells. Now up here's a nice song. If you like to hear songs, feel free, click on that. It's a good one to listen to. And down here is a little simulation of an onion root tip and its cells. You can take a look at that on your time also. Now, sometimes mitosis doesn't go as we plan. Sometimes it goes wrong. That causes what we call mutations. You may have heard mutation before, or maybe you've only heard of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They became that way because they were mutated. They were mutations. A mutation is a permanent change in a chromosome of a cell that may be beneficial or harmful to the organism. Some things are helpful, some things are not. Now, what are we talking about here? What does cell duplication have to do with cancer? Well, you notice these are all normal, healthy animal cells. They're all rounded and they're all stacked neatly and formed together. Then you have these blue cancer cells in here. They're kind of going every which way. They're different sizes, different shapes. This is trouble. Amoeba sisters. We're going to learn to love them. We're going to see them on more than one occasion. Take a look at that video and I'll talk more about the cell cycle and cancer for you. Here are a couple pictures of some cancer cells under microscopes. Skin cancer, you can see that on the surface of people's skin at times. And if you look at my skin, no, it is not cancer. Mine is other things. We'll talk about that at another point also. Or brain cancer. If you can see brain cancer, then we've got a problem. That means you got your skull opened up, and we don't want that to happen. But that's what it looks like inside there. As you look here, you start out with your normal cell, then it starts to mutate a little bit, and by the time it gets through 4 or 5, it's turned into full-blown cancer. And cancer is really just unregulated cell division. So again, here's another link to a video for you. And last but not least, this last little video here, this is a real quick little Spider-Man. If you've ever seen the Spider-Man movies, you've probably seen this before right at the very beginning. It's only like 8 seconds long. So with that being said, you have a great day. I will see you all later. See you in class. Answer any questions you may have. Take care. Bye.